I have been going to school with this girl for years. For privacy, I'll be changing names in the story. I knew this girl Kay since middle school. I didn't really become friends with her until maybe the ninth grade. I thought she was a little immature because even though we were in high school, she really liked My Little Pony, but then I thought, oh, what the heck, we've all got our guilty pleasures. We went to an arts high school, and I was an art major, and I had no classes with her because she was a creative writing major, nor do we have that many mutual friends. We hung out in totally different crowds. I hung out with the geeks who were into anime, metal, and comics, while she hung out with the sort of angsty, stereotypical writer type of people. She got into a car accident in the 7th grade and subsequently had to carry around a pillow to support her back whenever she sat down. Not important now, but will be later. So, when I was in the 9th grade, the Attack on Titan anime came out. It was really popular during this time, and a lot of my friends liked it. I wasn't particularly into it. I am more of a shoujo type of girl, and I don't really like the blood and gore in it. I know worse things exist, but bear with me. But Kay absolutely loved it. She was obsessed with it. She even wore Eren Jagger cosplay to school, not even on a school holiday. It made me uncomfortable because she wanted people to call her Eren for the day. I also really liked drawing anime too at the time, and one of my characters, Luca, had dark brown hair and green eyes. One time I drew him, and Kay started screeching, "Is that Eren?" I said no, he was my character, Luca, and she said, "Oh, I thought that was Eren because he looks like him." Other people around us were like, yeah. I was a little irritated. Then one of my friends went up to me and said, "Luca doesn't actually look like Eren." I asked why. She didn't say anything, and she told me the only reason she said that so Kay would shut up. And she also told me that Kay had been bothering her about Attack on Titan for a while, to a point where she actually stopped liking the anime because of it. Kay and I grew close in the 9th grade because of this one chick that was worse than her. There was a senior who also liked My Little Pony, and I literally cannot remember her name for the life of me. I only remembered one thing. She was very short, maybe 4'10", 4'11", and very plump. She wore MLP graphic t-shirts, flip-flops, maxi skirts with different layers of cloth, and kitty ear headphones. Anyway, she had been bothering Kay for a while. I always step in and take her away because I knew that this girl didn't really like to talk to anyone else and only latched onto Kay. She eventually graduated, so it was the end of that, but it was like the demon that was inside of her crawled into Kay. Enter Z. He's actually my best friend now, and I love him to bits, and he was also a creative writing major, so he had classes with her. He is gay, but she had a crush on him anyway. Nothing wrong with having a crush, but she kept making sexual comments about him to his face. Albeit I was not there, and if I was, I would not be having any of it. And I was just very uncomfortable, especially because she and everyone knows he's gay. She confesses to him, and of course he says no. By junior year, she leaves the school. We all moved on. By senior year, she goes to homecoming, and I see her again. We reconnect and spend a good chunk of the night together, talking, dancing, and whatever, adding each other on Facebook. After that, we had not talked. Until around prom season, I was really excited about prom. Not that I had a date or anything, I just wanted to spend time with my friends while looking fancy. I bought my ticket and had a dress all ready, and again really stoked. She messaged me out of the blue asking how I was, where I was going to college, what I wanted to major in, etc. I didn't think much of it. I just thought that she wanted to catch up because it was nearing the end of our senior year and we were all going to graduate soon. I was wrong. Very wrong. She started talking about prom. She didn't want to go to hers because all of her friends were in the 9th to 10th grade and she was a senior. She didn't like anyone in her grade at her school and wanted to go to our prom because she had so much fun with us. I had the thought, why didn't she just invite 1 to 2 of her friends just to go to prom with her? Most schools allowed guests, so I don't understand why she could not have brought a friend she was close to. She asked me if I was going to prom. I said yeah. Big mistake. She was really happy I was going to prom, and then she asked me if I could bring her as a guest. I don't know why, maybe it was my good mood, but I said yes. I figured Z and his friends probably would not mind if I just brought her with me. Maybe they'd be happy to see an old friend. I told Z about it, and he was upset. I thought he was mad at me, and then he explained he was not, and since I did not know anything, it was not my fault. But Kay had been controlling Z and our mutual friends for years. She had been using the accident from the 7th grade to justify her actions, and anything she did wrong was, of course, because of the accident. It took being away from her for them to realize that what she was doing was wrong. She had also contacted them about prom, and they all lied and said no, she could not be someone's guest. Then there was me. After hearing about that, I felt so bad for Z and didn't want to put him or anyone else through this, so I blocked her on all social media. We thought it was the end of that. A few days later, she got into contact with another mutual friend, A. She told her that she already purchased a ticket and even a dress. Kay came from a single mother, and so did A, and she felt bad that she spent a lot of money on the dress and the ticket, and then she just took her as a guest. Z and I were a bit disappointed because we got it of that commonality. I told A and Z that I would not be talking to Kay, although I'm sorry that this was kind of my fault and that she had to spend so much money. I was hurt because she controlled us into bringing her, and she got what she wanted despite what had happened between them. They told me not to worry and that I did not have to talk to her if I did not want to, and I should spend time with my other friends instead of her. Come prom night, she's wearing this hideous, giant pink ball gown. I'm with my other friends, and I told them the situation, pointing her out, and I asked them to just hide me if they saw her, which they did, thankfully. I'd actually spent the majority of the evening out on the balcony with my friends, away from Kay and all them. Z pops in. I asked him what happened to her, and he said that they were talking to her, but not all that much. I apologized to him, and he said it's okay because A is taking care of her and not to worry about it. He told me that they seemed to have a good time, too. At least she had fun, I guess. After that night, I never saw her again, and I do not want to. The cast is as follows. Me, US, high school senior, female, book nerd, not popular, but had my group of close friends. Angel, the Legbeard, I'll call her Angel because she wore a jean jacket every day that had Angel scrawled across the back in Sharpie. Fairy, Angel's friend. Jimbo, one of my guy friends, we had PE together. Scrapper, Angel's boyfriend, before they started dating. Scrapper and I went to a school dance together as friends. Okay, here we go. One day I was walking through the cafeteria, I spotted Jimbo and walked over to his table to just say hi. We were joking around a little bit about PE because we had played basketball in class and I was really bad at it. Jimbo said something like, "Yeah, I thought you'd be good at it since you're so tall." I'm 5'10". Suddenly this voice behind me goes, "Oh, you think you're tall? We'll see who's tall." I turned to see Angel standing up from her table and marching towards me. She came up to my chin. Jimbo laughed awkwardly, and Angel just went back and sat down. I had never even met her before, so I just thought, well, that was weird. The next semester, Angel and Fairy were both in my science class. The seats were assigned, but it just so happened that Angel's seat was in front of mine, and Fairy's was to the left of mine. They had this notebook that they both took turns writing in. It was like this role-play story. They passed it back and forth in front of me all the time, and Angel would whisper stuff like, "Don't let her see it, it's very secret." "Sorry, US, it's just very personal." "Well, you can read it if you really want to." I didn't really want to, so I didn't. But this went on and on for weeks, so finally I just flipped through the pages. They were role-playing as two girls lost in the fairy realm. I quickly noticed that Angel's character was the ultimate Mary Sue, and tragedies befell her on every single page. Like I said, I only flipped through it, but I still saw several accounts of rape, which was very disturbing, comas, kidnappings, miscarriages, or accidentally killing people with her newly discovered magical powers, all of which written out as dramatically as possible, complete with asterisks. I don't want you to all think I'm an insensitive jerk here. I know that all of these issues were serious, extremely hard to get through, and I'm not trying to make light of them in any way. It still bugs me that she threw these in so flippantly just to make her character seem more interesting. One day we were to put in the same group for an assignment. She was drawing something on a piece of paper while I and the rest of the group read the assignment instructions. When she was done, she put the paper on the table in front of her. I kept working, but noticed that every so often she would nudge the paper closer to me like she wanted me to look at it. So I did. She had drawn this picture of a sad girl crying in the rain in front of a tombstone, and she had written this poem about how her best friend died. Again, I'm not trying to make light of serious issues. I will not go into detail, but the over-the-top way she wrote it made me really obvious that it was totally fake. She was sitting there watching me read it, and soon I was done. She grabbed it and said, "That's private. I can't believe you read it. How could you?" Of course, everyone in the group could see how she practically shoved it under my nose and called her out on it. Angel continued being weirdly competitive. I liked to draw, and one day the teacher saw one of my drawings and complimented it. Angel immediately said, "Well, look at my drawings," and pulled out her notebook to show him. Once I was telling Fairy that I had watched this anime series over the weekend, and Angel said, "Oh, you think you're an anime fan? I watch hundreds of series." Just a lot of weird things like that. Honestly, I wondered what her problem was, but it did not bother me. I just thought she was weird and craving attention. Everything became a little more clear one day when she came into class and threw her jacket down on my desk. Wielding a Sharpie, she scribbled on the jacket until it now said, "Scrapper's Angel." I felt like she was expecting some big reaction, but I just said, "Oh, Scrapper, I know him." "I know you know him," she seethed. "He's my boyfriend, so back off." I was really confused because we had gone on one date as friends, and it was a year before then. Before that, beyond saying, "Hey," in the hallway once in a while, we had not even spoken in months. I told her all this, and she relaxed. "Oh, what a relief. I thought you might be trying to steal him." After that, she was nicer to me. She even offered to let me join in on the role-playing. There was no way that was happening. Here's the cherry on top of this sundae. The weirdest part of the story, the part that keeps me wondering to this day. I spoke to Scrapper again at the end of the year. I mentioned how I had class with his girlfriend. He looked confused. "I don't have a girlfriend," he said. "Angel?" I asked. He looks even more confused. "Angel's not my girlfriend. She's my cousin." So, yeah, I had no idea what was going through Angel's mind. I never talked to her again. I saw her a few times the next semester, but she would run away whenever she saw me. I think she was just a sad girl looking for attention, even if it came to lying.